when you ran this command earlier, through 2, you just kept on seeing November 22, November 23, on and on and on and on, right? Whether there's an incident or there's no incident, right? Right. But watch, by putting unique over here, what it's doing is, I don't want to see the date if there's no incident, right? If there's no entry. That's when you put unique. You can also use that if you have a keyword. If you're looking for a particular keyword, I will use grep instead. Right? Because grep allows you to use unique ASCII. Okay. ASCII is like a text, right? So I'm going to pipe the output of this. Instead of using unique over here, grep will be more appropriate for you because you're using for a definite keyword. So I'll pipe the output to grep, right? If what you're looking for is not ASCII, if it's just like hexadecimal, then I will use seek find. Because seek find finds for binary, hexadecimal, right? But grep looks for letters, ASCII. Okay. Right? If you're using for uniqueness, in other words, you don't want to see any date when there's no entry, then you use the unique, and the uniqueness will ensure that if there's a particular day where there's no entry, you don't get to see it. So over here, if we were to press, right?
Is unique something you're only going to use in a log file?
You could use it in a log file, you can adapt it for various other purposes. The most part is not to use it here. The most part is to think and say, where else can I use it? Right. You know, for example, if I'm looking at a huge amount of files, and I'm looking only for dates when somebody, where there's an incident, where my server generated an event, right? Then I can just say, you know what? I don't want to see these repeated logs. I want to see where there is an incident.
Yeah. Then you're still using it to look at log files.
What is that? Yeah.
Outside of log files, is there another use for it?
Absolutely.
Like what?
For example, if I have a huge chunk of data that I want to arrange, I want to arrange them, right? And I want to arrange them based on their uniqueness, right? Yeah. Then it's just going to arrange also there for me because I don't want to see any repeating pattern. So how you're going to use it is a function of your own thinking. You're only limited by your own thinking.
Okay.
You understand what I'm saying?
So if you had, instead of just column 2 or column 1 and column 2, but you also had column 3. Column 3 was, what is this? Yeah, date and time.
Mm-hmm.
Was the time. Each time the time change would be another entry in your...
It could be another entry, yeah. That could be another entry.
Okay.
Other thing that could also be another entry for me is I could say, you know what, if all I've been looking at is just Intel, for example, or I'm looking for AMD, and I said what I'm looking for, you know, and remember these are the two fields that are going to be compared for uniqueness. Okay? So if I'm only interested in the processor, then I can take out this variable out, and I'm going to say I want to see the month and the time when, the month and the processor. Show me the month when processor change. You understand what I'm saying? Yeah. Or show me the time when so and so change. So then it's going to be coming, the amount of variables you put in that place is the amount of variable that's going to be compared.
Can you use the unique command to show you like all the data, even if it's
not necessarily show you the data right now. No. It's just giving you the date when the data or when something changed. You will have to go for those dates, right? And look at what really changes. Right now, you're just saying, I don't want to look at all the data. I don't want to compare all the dates. I just want to show me the list of dates where there are, you know, new entries. Then when you have those dates, you will have to go on your own and check for those dates and see what are the entries that were made. Instead of having to go through 20 million entries, you're now looking at probably 10,000 entries. And then you can find what else you're going to use to even wither the entries down to maybe 500 that you can sit down with and look at. when you have a large amount of entries, you can use those stuff to kind of just pass out your, your stuff. But then again, you can always take a sample, like 5, 3, 4, 5 samples of